Welcome back to The Quiet Men. So yeah, what happened up until this point? We saw our protagonist beat minorities. He met this African-American guy that we don't know about because we couldn't hear anything.
Oh, and also Puerto Ricans, yeah.
And that's, okay, guys. Believe it or not, we're about to get a gameplay section. This is, believe it or not, the shortest, probably the shortest video game level in the history of the medium.
Wow.
What?
That face.
Again. Are you sure? Because there is the first level of Super Monkey Ball.
Well, Shiroi, just watch. Shiroi, just watch and judge for yourself. All right, so there's a woman.
How much you actually get to play it?
There's a woman.
Dashing Gear is a stalker.
There's a woman talking on the phone, but we can't hear what she's saying. So, moving on.
But we can read her lips. Actually, no, because she's barely in the shot.
Not even good at that.
And she's way too far away.
By the dark, anyway. So,
oh, there you go.
Now we're supposed to try and read lips. Oh, never mind. Now it's to the back of her head. So much for that.
Even if we weren't deaf, well, Joe, but to be fair, the majority of players who played this game, would they really be able to read lips?
Well, Dweebs, that's the thing. Our deaf protagonist can read lips.
Oh.
That's the reason why he can understand what people are saying.
Oh, here you go. Do something! Jeez!
Also, just pointing it out, Air fashion design for that jacket is horrendous.
Tia, what if I told you that that was a plot point, actually?
All right, here you go, Shiroi. Just for yourself, Shiroi.
Go out and buy this.
All right, Shiroi. Level starts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Level ends.
Level ends.
6 seconds.
5 seconds.
That was 5 seconds of gameplay, and now Shiroi, enjoy 10 minutes of cutscenes.
You know, for comparison's sake, the original Resident Evil also had live-action cutscenes. But here's the thing, though. There was a lot of gameplay to go with that still.
Okay,
I hope you enjoyed the gameplay part of the game, Shiroi.
I actually think that was shorter than the first Super Monkey Ball level.
Maybe... No, I got it. Maybe...
Why even having that 6 seconds? You might as well integrate that into the cutscene.
Pedro, I got it.
Go ahead.
Maybe the people who made this game were really huge fans of Metal Gear, but they took the gameplay story segregation from that and took it way too far.
But that's the problem, Dweebs. This studio is not a newbie or incompetent. They made the original Prey, and that's a good game, so what the fuck happened?
Anyway, yeah. Okay, let's try to decipher the plot as best as we can for the sake of... okay, so
well, if me and Pedro trying to decipher it, it's cheating. Cause
the ones that are watching this blind. The basic point is so apparently this dude is actually the real boyfriend of this chick who looks like Dane's mom.
Oh, by the way, I just remembered who the white guy who accompanies him reminds me of.
That's
Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. So even though Dane's mom died when he was a kid, this chick looks exactly like the same, like her mom. And yes, they're played by the same actress.
Yeah, I was about to say by that they're played by the same actor. They didn't even try to differentiate them.
Main difference is the hair color.
Also, like, look.
Well, to be fair to you, family resemble.
So,
true,
you know what this means, right, Shiroi? There's severe implications that the only reason Dane is getting near this woman is maybe because she looks like his mom. So this is getting pretty fucked up right here.
Okay. To be fair, this is actually incredibly common, and you don't have to be psychopathic or something. It's like, whoa.
Heck, even Steven Universe does this in a much later episode.
Yeah, it's a common thing that a lot of people may be
attracted
these
character models look terrible.
Sigmund Freud made it the cornerstone of psychology studies. You see,
this would look fine on the PS3, but it's a PS4 game.
Was it on anything else?
Xbox One and PC.
No, actually no, Teo. It's not on Xbox One.
What did you just give to him?
Nobody cares about the Xbox One.
The bird.
Oh.
An origami bird.
I'd say not even Square Enix cares about that, but they released Kingdom Hearts 3 on the thing.
Not even Microsoft cares about the Xbox One, Dweebs. Go ahead.
again, it's so weird because on a first impression, the models are actually have some of a quality detail to them, but it's like one second later, you notice immediately the cracks, the weird facial expression that sometimes don't even change, the awkward movements. It's just
okay.
Weird.
Okay, it is true that Metal Gear Solid 4 was 70% movie, 30% game, but at least in Metal Gear Solid 4 there was actually stuff going on in the cutscenes.
And they had a damn good reason to do that. They had to wrap up years and years of a friend.
The cutscenes on this game...
Guys. Let me just put the main crucial difference. We knew what was going on in Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't care how good or how much stuff is going on in these scenes. If I can't hear and I don't know what's going on, I will not care. Plain and simple. I can't even decipher what's going on.
Not to mention...
Again, a lot of what you'll just see is... Let me finish. A lot of what you'll see is just beat 'em up. Nothing you can really gather from the story here and there.
That's the thing, this is totally inaccurate because deaf people would actually know what is going on because they
we've already discussed this in the previous part.
Not to mention, so far this story has been so boring. There's supposed to be a mystery going on with the sigil and now the bird, but so far not much has happened. And keep in mind, stuff will happen later, but it's not near enough to make this plot interesting. Believe me.
What is this sound, by the way? Like, seriously, this sound that you hear whenever these people speak, like, like, how do you even produce this sound?
Let me hear. I can't actually speak. Come on, I need to hear this shit.
There you go.
Shiroi, we're deaf.
No, but you'll notice, Joe, every time they speak, you hear like this ethereal sound.
For the in-game sound, I can tell you, Pedro, it's. I think it's the original voice clip, but heavily distorted with the program.
Like I said, I'm guessing they're trying to emulate what deaf people hear. Well, at least some of them.
Oh. Jesus, that face is creepy.
So
I'm willing to bet so much money that this game was made without the input of any actual deaf person.
Actually, Shiroi, according to the behind-the-scenes video, there was one. Sign language deaf person consulting with this, actually.
Wait. So let me get this
I'm gonna check that.
Wait.
Oh.
Well, I can share the video later.
Yeah, sure.
Let me get this straight. They got a sign language.
He rejected it.
Denied.
It's like Jim Sterling said. The cutscenes wouldn't even be so. The amount of cutscenes wouldn't even be so bad if the cutscenes had something going on. But it's just people talking.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just people talking, and it would be fine if we could actually hear what they're saying.
Or if the story had some crazy bullshit going on.
Oh no! Don't worry, Teo. You've got something coming to you.
Example that we kind of mentioned already before in other context, the Yakuza games. The Yakuza games have also these cutscenes where people talk for a long time. But you know what? Considering since Stargazer, Storm Chaser, due to the plots that actually happen in those games, you actually care about what the characters are saying to each other and what they're gonna do. It's just I could watch Majima eating takoyaki for an hour straight.
Hold on, Teo. The first plot point. The club is the club where Dane and the rest of his partners, friends, whoever they are, is called Club Moonrise. There you go. Here's our first established plot point. The club is called Moonrise.
How do you even know that's a plot point?
Well, it's the closest one we have. So it's the closest thing we have to a plot point so far.
How do we know?
They kind of put emphasis on the title being there. They kind
of. I love how everyone in the club is dressed elegantly, and our guys still with the...
Okay, I need to... Hold on, Joe. I need to stress this. We're about to have a musical performance in a game with no sound.
But deaf people are perfectly capable of enjoying music. That's what the speakers are for. They can feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
It affects the vibrations, right, Shiroi?
Hey,
Yeah, and that would be fine, Shiroi, but we're not there on the club listening to this live. We're playing a video game.
That's why a lot of deaf people will request songs that have like quite a heavy bass, because that's something that can be felt by everyone.
Nice.
I mean,
Yes.
okay, I don't know what you're talking about, guys. I can't think of any possible significant deaf person who was able to still hear sound from vibrations. Oh, wait, no, Beethoven, one of the most famous people of all time. Now, to go back, it's like you said, Shori, whenever they speak, we hear weird musical notes, but no, that distorts it. So here's my thing. Why not just literally reduce it to just the vibrating sounds?
I was going to say, it would be cool if the controller could vibrate along to...
Yeah, actually, that leads me to my next question.
Yeah, and HD Rumble is very well a thing.
I'm so morbidly curious about this, Pedro. Were you still holding the controllers by this point?
No.
Hang on, the controllers are pretty loud. Was it actually vibrating?
Remember, Shira, usually Pedro deactivates that option because he doesn't like it.
Sure.
Really? You don't like that? I thought you were
No,
considering your
I'm trying to focus on the game, and my controller starts shaking in my hands, and it distracts me. Okay, I don't like it.
Weird. I thought you were a Kojima fan.
I am, but well, that's a special occasion. The Rumble is actually done with a purpose.
Well, that's what I mean. What if the Rumble was done for purpose in this game?
I also use like the controller.
Hold on.
Purposes. Like,
there you go.
I
See?
can't see much. I use it for sound cues.
Yeah, no, don't worry, Pedro. Even if they didn't got that, the game will hammer that into their fucking heads.
Yeah, true. Oh, by the way, guys, Dark Lord Shadow 1 counted in his review. There's a total of 30 mom flashbacks in this game.
Also,
but hey, enough about the mom here.
Java, is this the new word for Kingdom Hearts 4, where the Organization 13 is taking over?
Pedro,
I don't know, Tio, but it looks like an extension of the Plague Knight campaign.
Pedro?
Yes, Dwibs.
What's the Undertaker doing here?
It's not the Undertaker, Dwibs. It's a man in a bird mask.
These are literally the same guys from before.
Sorry, Teo, we couldn't afford any other actors.
Well, okay, to be fair, maybe it's a running plot with a certain gang he's had a run-in with. Maybe they're back for vengeance. See?
Ooh.
See? Now we get muted sounds of the fight. Why can't we get muted sounds of, everything? The music and people speaking. Like a deaf person could hear.
Technically...
There were earlier in the game, but that kind of stopped.
That's not how it works. Just zoom tably.
Well, technically, earlier when they were talking in the limo, we could still hear the ethereal sounds. They just weren't as loud.
Pedro. Those weren't proper voices, though. In the sense, those were more like voices that were made to sound musical,
it's
they were
raping
auto-tuned.
time.
He speaks and the storm approaches.
Well, I guess we have an official villain.
Ow.
Ouchie, ouch.
Anyway, to just what you're saying to you, no, it's when they were speaking in the limo, that was just musical distortions of the voice. That's not really what a deaf person hears. I have a friend who's actually deaf. But, okay, maybe that's not how all deaf people hear. So, if I may, I'd like to point out another problem.
In their ears, because some people do hear that.
Okay. I'm gonna admit that was actually one of the better transitions.
Okay, well, this red filter voice, I'm not really digging this.
Pedro?
Yes, Dips?
Hey, here's the thing. Even though there's a red filter, for some reason, Dan here still looks properly in color.
I mentioned, you just reminded me of something. A character that has a problem with his ears, but is still capable.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Driver did this better.
And
that film was a bit different. In Baby Driver, he had tetanus in his ear. This guy can't hear anything at all. But
this is another problem I want to point out. There are varying degrees of deafness.
Hold on, Jova. Boss battle.
Oh yes, this is actually. I think the sequence after is boss battle. Lisa. Amazingly stupid.
All right. Keep in mind what you're watching right now is me finding this boss for the first time, because believe it or not, when if I knew before starting this game a specific way of how a certain mechanic works in this game, I would have made this boss my bitch. However, let's check it out how a newcomer usually fights this boss.
Right.
Running away.
Yeah, unlike the mooks, the bosses have incredible blocking abilities, so it's much harder. You can't just mash buttons to win.
You have to try, basically.
Also, the dodge animation is.
The fuck was that?
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a boss. It's supposed to be challenging.
Okay, so here's the basic thing, Shiroi. You have to wait until he turns on his flashlight, and then you can hit him.
What that was?
Yes.
That's a stun
Well,
baton.
sure, it has an electric baton with a flashlight on top of it.
It's a very weird device.
It is.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know, he relies on sight as opposed to hearing, so I guess it makes sense to try and blind him with it.
This is another thing that This is another thing as well. I don't know.
Which is admittedly, you know, okay, yeah, to be fair, that's
pretty
actually...
interesting, you know.
Oh god.
Yeah,
choice.
Yeah, true. That actually is a neat detail that the guy did come prepared for a weapon, prepared to take out Dan with.
Although that implies that he's familiar with him, so there's a backstory.
There you go, I guess.
Maybe, sure,
No,
maybe.
no, that's the thing, Teo. This guy can take a lot of damage.
Oh, it's like the final boss of Assassin's Creed 2, which you have to stop in the crouch repeatedly.
Wait, Teo,
Damage spot.
just wait till he's low on health, Teo. Oh, there you go. Let's show what happens when you die.
Okay.
Alright.
Game. Oh god.
Hey,
Hi.
Tio! Hey,
Please don't
Tio!
come any closer, please.
Hey, Tio! You like the Punisher Netflix series, right?
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Yep,
That was the game over screen, Shiroi. Every time you die, you have to watch like a random.
Please don't die again.
Right, whenever you die, you have to see a random clip of that woman looking at you before you just poof, pop back like nothing happened.
Just don't die again, yeah?
Well, technically, not letting it happen, Joe, because I have to start the boss all over again. But yeah.
You know what I mean, though. Like, well, pretty much right where you were. I mean, I don't mean in the sense that, you know, you go back to where you were beating the boss or whatnot.
So yeah.
Oh, you're stun locking him.
Yeah. And now he's blocking again.
well.
Okay, so the basic strategy is, whenever he's not blocking, hit him. Whenever he is blocking, just run away.
Run away like a coward! This
What a
doesn't
great
look silly
team,
at
actually.
all!
Well, what else can I do? If I hit him, he blocks.
Brought to you by Square Enix.
Again, what was Square Enix thinking with this game? Like...
Well, that and the other developer.
Well, yeah, but the fact that... Well, okay, yeah, look, let's just say Square have a shaky reputation as it is. This did not help things.
Well, that's the thing. I even said on Twitter earlier. There's only so far I'm willing to go when it comes to blaming publishers before I start to question were the developers really that competent in the first place.
Well, Dwibs. To be fair, the fact that publishers let the games go out in that state doesn't help things.
Well, here's the thing, Dweebs. Even if a developer has a very bad, questionable idea, there's still the fact that the publisher accepts it and pumps money into the project. So
There you go. This is what this is what happens when he's low on health. Yes, yes,
It becomes fluent.
yes. Let's have the. Hold on, Jova. Let's have the bosses walk around like they really need to take a shit when they're low on health, because that's not gonna look goofy at all, is it?
It
Ladies
actually
and
looks scary because of the fact that the walking and running cycle is different from yours.
Yeah, the only problem is that's really terrible frame rate, but you know, maybe they could incorporate that into being creepy,
There you
except
go.
for the fact that I think it's
hold
only
on,
really
watch
like
this,
after that.
Look what our brave hero, intelligent hero does.
Runs away.
Worst Dweebs. Orlan?
Okay, he gets rid of his weapon.
Hold on.
You absolute moron.
What did you thought was gonna happen?
You literally gripped the business end of that stun baton. And guess what?
That was the dumbest
Which-
plan I've ever fought.
Which means this boss battle was just a waste of my time. Thanks, game.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know, I have a special hate.
Oh, here we
for
go.
games.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What happened? Now this is the rest of the flashback. Because of that fight with the gun over the shoes, This is how his mom died. There you go, ladies and Shiroi. This is the plot of our game. The protagonist's mom got killed because of an argument over a pair of shoes.
No joking.
This is our story. That's the plot.
Wow, it really is holes taken to the extreme.
You know, I have a special hatred for games that have some of the most pointless boss battles ever.
Oh,
Only to just
I
have
think
get
in a second it's about to get even better.
You're supposed to do that over a car bonnet, dude.
Okay, Tio, I'm curious. Have you seen reviews of this game or something?
Yes, remember Jova, I've seen an entire playthrough of one of the Italian YouTubers that I follow, and a couple of reviews. So I know the entirety of the game, and I know exactly why it's wrong.
All
Well,
I
actually, I have
know
a-
is what Pedro told me.
You know, your earlier point, guys, about the whole the publishers throw money at these kind of things anyway. Tio also mentioned earlier that this developer previously did make good games, so maybe in this case, Square just kind of you know
Gotta love how.
overly trusted.
Do you guys notice how throughout this entire fight,
I noticed.
the characters keep jump cutting between planes of existence? Like,
Dweebs, here's the thing. This means that. Hold on, I think it's happening right now.
Flip.
Oh, I
Now
think
we're
it
getting-
happens
yeah,
later.
yeah, Dayton is Batman for some reason. So yeah, guys, that's our plot. A pair of our protagonist's mom got killed over a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes. This is our plot. You know, someone actually wrote that, handed it in, and nobody snickered. Apparently.
You know, to be fair, you can make a plot like that work. But I'm just gonna let you know the story doesn't.
Again, holes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
Ooh.
Dweebs, your thing about that does really okay.
All right,
Dweebs,
well, guys, watch this one. Watch.
No,
doesn't
no,
react to a
no,
guy using his
no.
head as opposed to
no, game.
No,
Anyway, you were gonna say, Jova?
while Pedro and Shiroi question humanity, Dweebs, you know, what you
I'm
just stated,
already doing that. So-
Yeah.
Dweebs, what you just stated is the main reason why people are suspecting that Square weren't to blame for this, because the developers behind this game have normally done. However, Square are the ones who provide the budget, the resources, and of course the writing team as well.
Not only
And
that,
considering Square's tendency to sometimes bottleneck other games in favor of others, yeah, no shock there. And, let's not forget, this was a budget release title.
I clipped through
that
one of
went
those
for only
mooks.
$15, and people still felt ripped off. But
Not
yeah,
only that, Jova, the alternative is that instead the dev team only presented a pitch of the idea of the game and then completely kept Square under the, in obscure until the final product was almost finished.
I wouldn't be
And then
surprised
coming back
because
in.
this game was released without any sort of fanfare on part of Square Enix. It was basically just released left to die. So
The announcement was at
it was shown
E3.
at E3.
yeah,
but that was the only trailer, and the game was released only a very short amount of month after.
If there's ever a game I want Stop Skeletons from Fighting to cover, it's this game. Like, I want to know the history of this game.
Also,
Was
another
it-
recycled.
well, we
model.
already know, Jova. There's a behind-the-scenes video detailing.
We're the same
No,
identical
Pedro. I mean, you know, the one that goes in depth with the developer.
Okay, what the fuck is even going on in this cutscene? Wait, what?
Ladies and
Alright,
gentlemen,
I
our
know what
protagonist
you're
may have been hallucinating.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, guys. Oh, it's hallucinating things. Believe me, it's not. It's even worse.
Oh, there you
Now
go.
back to another
He's
flashback.
high.
By the way, Dwebs, did you know that his mom died?
We've seen that in about 3 times within 22 minutes of itself.
This is
Oh.
gonna be like the videotape, isn't it?
Sure.
Wait.
The
Stop singing,
videotape.
Jova.
No, please, don't
video-
flash me.
Sure, the videotape is tame compared to this.
I would agree. Yes.
Anyway, this particular ponytailed guy who we talked to in the club in part 1 suddenly saved our asses.
Again, he looks so much like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction.
Royal with cheese.
Oh, great, another conversation that we can't hear.
While you were learning to spell your name, I was actually getting stuff done.
You know what could be good is for the game to, communicate directly to you, the player, like how people would communicate with a deaf person. Like you could have a character look directly at you and move their lips as realistically as possible or whatever, but no, everyone's kind of left to struggle, and this really isn't how a deaf person would experience a video game, so it's kind of a false sense here.
Not only that, you know, you can
look
really...
at that actual sign language.
Wait, Dan can already read lips, so why does he do that then? And look, he's not even doing sign language now, so what was with that last bit there? You're probably wondering.
Consistency is overrated.
Bada beam, bada boom, get that deaf guy out of my room.
And I broke your car's mirror for some reason, or rather glass, sorry, your window for some reason.
Car window.
My new car, man.
Maybe he swore? I don't know.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, speaking of inconsistencies, again, a problem I have with this is that this assumes that we're going with the kind of deaf people who can't hear a lick. Like, again, some deaf people have varying senses of deafness. Some people can actually hear muted versions of regular sounds. That's what they need hearing aids for. Some can't hear anything at all.
Not only that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I get that this game is going for the classic sense, but I don't know. It feels a bit wrong with me. Like, why not put in a deafness control?
There's also the fact that a good chunk of deaf people actually cannot speak for themselves unless they train real hard, because using your own
okay, so that was all right. So
it all depends on the severity.
So that oh great, more cutscenes.
Oh my god.
You know, it would have been better if they released this as sort of, you know, an experience game.
Oh, never mind.
So we had a
that's what it's supposed to be, Shira. According to Kenji Funisaga, the producer and creator of the no, this is
it really feels like, because the beat 'em up party really feels
this
like
this is supposed to when everything is lost, haha. Okay, sure. According to the producer, this is supposed to be a 3-hour story-heavy experience. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough. Then the problem is the experience is incredibly faulty.
But Shiroi,
oh great, more minorities for me to beat the crap out of.
They were just waiting there for us.
It's okay. You're a minority too, so it's totally fine.
And
you know, not only that, they all seem to drive the same car.
I swear, their leader is just
stop shoving this shit, the previous cutscenes on my.
It's really distracting.
Yes, I remember. I saw that. It happened like minutes ago.
I want to remind you guys, this is supposed to show us what it's like through the eyes of a deaf person. Mm-hmm.
Also, I really don't like how the lighting engine works for this game, because it tries to go a bit with the neon cyberpunk aesthetic by having some weird lights in the angles that gives a bit of sensory disorientation to the player, but it just feels more distracting than anything.
I don't need any more sensory disorientation.
I can imagine, Shiro.
This is bullshit.
Believe it or not, the BS has only begun to start piling.
Did the game froze for a second?
Yes, Theo. Yes, it did.
It had to load. All right, that was the gameplay. Now let's get back to the cutscenes.
Why is this game so terrible?
You know, I would even be tolerating more if all of the cutscenes were stupid, over-the-top action, but most of the time it's just so boring.
Well, Teo, okay, Teo, time for the real question then. Which game has the worst story, this or Fair Fencer F?
This.
Don't make me choose, Pedro.
This. Even when I do know what's going to happen in this.
I think I can give a summation on this. I will be gladly wasting alcohol on Fair Fencer F and not on this. I guess that's my judgment.
Is that better?
You'd rather spend
the call.
money on Fairy Fencer.
I'm just going to say this right now. As somebody who does know how the story goes, this is worse than Fair Fencer F. Yeah, Fair Fencer F has some really...
Without having to spoil you guys, there are a lot of things that will happen without context and you will never know why.
And let me put it like this. You guys think it's bad not knowing what's going on? It may be even worse when you do know what's going on. That's how bad it is.
From what I've heard, a problem with this game, when we eventually get to hear it, is the dialogue.
Yeah. Well, remember this, we literally started this game with a scene of that guy going, "What the hell, man? You stupid or very stupid?"
Oh god! Look at that guy!
What's wrong, Theo?
Did the game freeze? What the fuck is
Oh my
going?
god, guys, look at the camera there. It's blurry, but he's not for some reason.
Okay.
It's like they literally photoshopped his model in over it. And speaking of Photoshop, I'm getting sick of seeing...
Okay, I get it. New York is beautiful by night. Move on.
All
I'm
right,
pretty sure we saw this shot before, too.
We're in East Harlem?
all right, so we're in the cutscene.
Oh, cool. Is he going to team up with Luke Cage? You know what? No, forget that. That would be too
Sweet
good for this.
Christmas.
God, I love that line. Again, remember
Police
when we
car.
thought this was, remember when we thought this was going to be the Avengers project? Where is that Avengers project, Square? We need something to make up for this.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah, you can. I'm playing Final
Wait,
Fantasy.
and now I'm suddenly inside an abandoned hallway.
Oh my god, his model literally freezes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, no.
When it goes into the cutscenes, like in and out of cutscenes, Jesus.
Great, more identical models to beat.
Remember what I said about developer incompetence?
I'm sorry, dude. I get it, dude.
At this point, it's not even minorities. It's literally just the same 2-3 models over and over again.
Yeah. Dwayne, question. Have you played any games also done by the studio other than this game?
What other games were there?
The original Prey, for example. Let me get another list.
Let me put it this way.
They have a relatively healthy career, so it's not like they...
Well, there's not to mention there's also the fact that even though Human Head Studios was a developer, but the creative
and that's the end of the part.
But the creative direction was done by Kenji Funusaga, who's a Square Enix employee. So
Yeah,
Human Head
kind of like number 9.
Human Head Studios is a studio on hire more than anything.
Let me put it this way.
They help Irrational Games in making Bioshock Infinite, for example.
Oh, I like that game. Okay, let me put it this way. It's essentially like Mighty Number 9, where Inti Creates were technically doing the bulk work, but the ones calling the shots on how they did it was Concept and KJ and Infinity. And we all know how that turned out despite Inti Creates' pedigree.
It depends. I mean, crap developers can have a good day, and the opposite can happen as well.
I'll just put it like this. Until we know more about it, there's more evidence pointing towards Square Enix being the culprits behind this turning out as bad as it was than the developers.
I think I'm starting to believe Jim Sterling's theory. This game was made by the cast of Police Academy.
Which one Police Academy 4?
Pick one.
Well, folks, wait till it gets even worse in the next part.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.